Heyo, Shebe here, and if you could not tell already by the title of my video, today I'm going to be talking about my ideal Twilight recast. Now I know that the Twilight movies are some of the most hated movies of the recent years. A lot of people have the whole, it's a better love story than Twilight thing. I would argue that there's two reasons for that, and one of them we're going to be addressing in this video in more detail, which we'll be going over the cast very soon. But the second reason also is because they left so many great details out of the books, out of the movies that were in the books. Stephenie Meyers did a fantastic job with the books, and they just have so much more detail packed in that were left out that make it such a more rounded, well-rounded love story. I would argue that Twilight is a better love story than Twilight if you're going based on the books, and the movie's not as good. However, I think the recasting could help a little bit with that, but if you're interested in checking out the difference between the books and the movies, if you haven't ever read the books and you just are curious, there is a video by Screen Rant that goes over like the top 25 things that were taken out of the books that would have really helped the movies be beefed up a little bit. So if you want to check that out, you can feel free to do that. Also, if you like this video and you want more like this of either a different movie that you would think you'd want to see recasted, or if you like the recasting of this, I only did like the main characters of the first two Twilight movies in this video. So if you'd like to see more of the later movies, the later Twilight movies, then go ahead and let me know in the comments as well, and I can make another one with more of the cast and from the later movies. So now I'll give a disclaimer. This is going to be a very biased recasting, and some of the actors are not necessarily in the right age category anymore for these roles, but since it's my ideal recasting, I'm going to be listing also for those actors that are a little bit too old for the roles, I'll be listing what era they would have been best fit in this role. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So first, as our leading lady, Miss Bella, where you been, loca? We have Emily Hampshire. And for those of you mostly would be familiar with Emily Hampshire and her role from Schitt's Creek, please check out Schitt's Creek, literally one of my favorite shows of all time. But Emily Hampshire, I think, would actually, even though she is a little bit older for the role, I think she would still make it work now. However, if she was a little bit younger, it would be perfect, like in her like 20s. Next, for Edward, the cold boy, we have Liam Hemsworth. Now, I'll tell you why for this one for me. For Bella, I just don't like Kristen Stewart, so really there would be a lot of people I would recast. And no offense to you, Kristen, I'm sure you'll probably never see this video, but if you do, I'm sorry. However, for Edward, he's described as the perfect man in every way in the books. He's described as like the most gorgeous, like amazing, perfect guy. And I don't know, like, let me know in the comments if you disagree with this, but I just don't think Robert Pattinson is that good looking. I know a lot of you are probably not going to agree with me. I say a lot of you, I don't even know if anyone's watching this, so let me know if you're watching. But if you do agree, let me know, because I just think he's not that great looking, and I would have picked, personally, Liam Hemsworth for that role. I mean, yeah. So that's all I'll say about that one. And then for Jacob, I was really frustrated that they picked Taylor Lautner for that role, because he doesn't actually even have native blood in him. I think he's like mixed with like Hawaiian or something like that, and something else, I can't remember now. Don't quote me, go to his Wikipedia page, it says his whole breakdown there. But he's not actually Native American, but there are so many other great Native American actors that you could have put in that role for the representation, but also just are better actors overall. I don't think Taylor Lautner is that great of an actor. And I think Jacob's character would have been given a lot more oomph if they had maybe put, say, a young Adam Beach in the role. So, you know, maybe go watch Smoke Signals. That's the era I'm thinking. That Adam Beach, I would like him as Jacob in the Twilight movies. Let me know if you agree, or if you have a different suggestion for Jacob or Edward or Bella or anyone else that I list here. Next, as Sam, who doesn't appear till our second Twilight movie, he's like the werewolf alpha male, essentially. I would have cast Jason Momoa. I don't have anything against the actor that they put as Sam. I think he's fine. That's just my personal choice. And then for Emmett, or as I like to call him, the thick boy, one of the Cullens, Emmett Cullen, I think he would have been great casted as Chris Hemsworth. How fun would that be to have both Hemsworth brothers in one movie? I think it would be really fun. So that's just my opinion. And then as Alice Cullen, or Fairy Cullen, as I like to call her, she literally looks like a fairy. I think she was actually really perfectly cast, but for the sake of this video, I would give Lily Collins a cast for that. I think they're both very similar in their appearances, but acting wise they would differ a little bit. I just think it would be interesting to see her in that role. However, I do really love the original cast of Alice, personally. And then for Jasper, our little country boy. Hey boy, I love you. And let's just pretend that he wasn't actually in the Confederate side of the war, because that just makes us question a lot of things. So for the sake of this video, we're not going to get into that. However, Jasper, our country boy, Jasper Cullen, he, I think, would be a great young Bradley Cooper. So we're talking Bradley Cooper in, actually I think it's younger than any of the roles I've seen him in, so let me know if you've seen him in a movie where he's in a younger role, like maybe in his 20s, but I think he would be great. And then as Carlisle Cullen, or Zadie Carlisle, I actually think that casting choice was okay. I did not like the casting choice for Jasper, but for Zadie Carlisle, I did actually really like the casting choice they made. However, I think it would be even better with, say, Robert Downey Jr. And I know that probably is just more of my bias and not something that would actually be like super great, because I think Robert Downey Jr. is a little too dry for that role actually, but I just like to see him as a vampire, so that's a personal thing for me. And then we have Cate Blanchett as Esme Cullen, Queen Esme. I just think Cate Blanchett would be perfect in that role, and probably when she was around, say, like the last Lord of the Rings movie, that I think would be a great era for her to have played Esme Cullen. I think she would absolutely slay. I literally love her. She's one of my all-time favorite actresses. Never seen her in anything that I didn't like her in. And then for Rosalie Cullen, Rosalie, hurt me back. I actually think that was a pretty good casting choice, but to make it even better, I would have chosen Kate Winslet. The young Kate Winslet, say like Titanic era. I think she's a freaking heartthrob and would have killed that role as this sassy little Rosalie. And then my other casting change would be to put Johnny Depp in there as like really any vampire. I didn't actually have a specific vampire in mind, but I thought maybe he could play James from the first movie, who Edward ends up taking out. So that would be sad to lose Johnny Depp within the first movie, but yeah, I'm talking Johnny Depp era Pirates of the Caribbean. The earlier ones preferably, but yeah, I still think he would be great. So we interrupt this message for another message about the casting choices that I think were absolutely beautiful. So first, I forgot to list this, but I will never, ever, ever, ever change Billy Burke because he is the perfect Charlie. Same with Boo Boo Stewart as Seth Clearwater. Just those two cast members single-handedly carried almost the entire Twilight franchise on their backs. And yeah, so they're staying for sure. That is all the main recasting choices that I am throwing out there. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, if you're even watching. I don't even know if anyone's there. This is my first video on this channel. I do have another channel for my music. If anyone's interested, if anyone's even watching, I don't know. But yeah, please go ahead and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and you thought that my recasting was good. I'll be posting another video later, I don't know when yet, with I'll be posting a video later with Pride and Prejudice, but Tim Burton's version. So if you're interested in seeing what like a dark Tim Burton Pride and Prejudice would look like, turn on notifications because that will be coming eventually. I will also be recasting some other movies, but if you have any suggestions for a movie you'd like to see recast, again, leave it in the comments below. Like, subscribe if you want, or don't, I don't really care. This is just for fun for me, so love you guys, peace out.